Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, brought to you by Capcom, who provided a copy for review, walkthrough, and live streaming purposes. How's everybody doing today? So, today is the case about, well, what happened to Gregson, and, I believe we last spoke with the Reaper, but I don't remember, because, it's been a few days. Or it's been a day, or it's been, I don't remember how many days since the last Ace Attorney. I think I've missed a day. So we're back here with Susie, and she's going to tell us what to do next. So anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit that notification bell. And also sign up for our free newsletter, KwingsLetsPlays.com, so you know exactly what's happening. The newsletter is sent every day at around 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m., and it tells you all the happenings of the channel today. There is no ultimate stream today, just so everybody knows. Mandraco's asked us to move the stream until Wednesday night around 9 o'clock. So tonight's streams will be around 9ish, will be Storm in the Marvel game, and then around 11 will be the finale of Super Metroid. So that's the plan today. Okay.
Awesome.
I can't believe it. Inspector Gregson is...
It's awful, isn't it? But we must carry on, Ryunosuke.
I know, but it's just so much to take in. I don't know where to start.
We must start with a thorough investigation of the scene. My phone! Okay. And we must interview Gina. Then we must go to the present to speak with the Reaper. Thank goodness I have... Oh.
Thank goodness I have you, Susie. You have it all under control as usual.
Thank goodness you have me, Ryunosuke. You're too kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm afraid I won't have all the answers. I really have no idea how to be around Iris at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Wait, what happened with Iris?
She's sad.
What? Oh, wait.
Gregson's dead.
Oh yeah, Gregson. I forgot Gregson died.
Yeah.
Darn it. Oops. I forgot about him. People were saying we should have made a Gregson tribute on the thumbnail, but I don't know. I don't know how to find a picture of him.
I mean...
Hey, Hype Train! Hey, great to see you! Drago, Hype Train! Hey, everybody, Anna Sensei, Princess Emmy, Dylan, E2S2 Fanatic, Jacob, and Cassie, great to see you, Total Spies fan, and everyone.
Oh, here we go, Frenzo Street. That's new.
Scientist Dylan and VG Shine. Hello, everyone.
This is where
Fresno Street.
Fresno Street, yeah, this is where we need to go. 1st of November, room on Fresno Street. Oh wow, this really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. So this dust-ridden, rented old room is where it happened then.
So, this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, she looks sad. She's not, like, really matter-of-fact. Why don't you try that again?
Oh my gosh, Luke. So, this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life.
Yup, and the police are already working hard at investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps he's investigating have taken him elsewhere. Up.
Oi! What do you think you're doing here? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath and all. I want this space above the ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack too. Blimey! Ain't you lot ever gone over a house looking for dough when the owners are out of town?
Gina's obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adapt, I guess.
Oh, so you've turned up at last, mind you. I ain't been here long myself.
Hello again, Gina.
Sholmes has only had just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing around in here, pointing at stuff, flicking it off, as if just scarpered. I don't know what she said. Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah, he didn't stop to say nothing to no one, not even me.
Gina, would you mind if we investigated too?
Listen, Odo, you're a lawyer, right?
Well, yeah. Why?
Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are ya?
Oh, poor Gina. She's never gonna forget, is she? That the trial will haunt her forever. This one probably will.
Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zieks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right, yeah. Go on then, Odo, get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here then.
Thank you, Gina.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem at all.
So we're going to explore everything we can. There's a police doll on the ground. Oh, what is this?
It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it, in a way?
Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson?
It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zieks playing with something like this.
It's only about 8 centimeters tall. It could have fallen out of somebody's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence just in case.
Yes, I agree. It's rather delightful after all, in a way.
Police figurine has been added into the court record.
Alright, great to see you guys. E2S2 Fanatic, Scientist, Tiger X, Ethan Suggs, Timmy, Master Gundam, Cassie, hey everyone. Drago's got the hype train started! Hype train! And great to see you, Princess Emmy, and Manjorno Singh? Mangorno Singh? Oh darn it, I think I got your name wrong, I'm sorry. Alright, let's go for it. Sorry guys.
Program setup. The top one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off.
Hi Thaddeus! Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind. Look!
I suppose if a bullet had hit it...
It does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body.
Now, the wax on the wall looks like blood to me. Candle has been entered into the court record. Okay. Let's see, what else we got? The windows. Somebody very haphazardly nailed these boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even really call it a window anymore.
Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, that was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least let some light in, so you could... You could say
nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Okay, that has no relevance to anything, you guys. So we got there's a revolver on the floor. Whoops. This is presumably the murder weapon, then.
Oh my! It is real, I suppose.
I think so. Guns are rare in Japan. I really know very little about them, to be honest.
There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot.
No. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer just to ask someone who might know, I think. Killer's revolver has been entered into the court record. Okay. Police officers, can they speak? Excuse me? If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. Okay, so he's not going to talk about anything. What about this guy? Excuse me? Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir. Right. Perhaps I'd better leave you to your work then. Okay. Anything else to...
I think you should try that again. Make him more sad.
I did. Inside the chimney. An empty fireplace makes a room feel even colder. Even when it would be otherwise, doesn't it?
It's thick with dust. Look. I think it would be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time.
In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely cold.
Or nobody lived here at all, and merely visited when the occasion rose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely.
No, that's right. It's one or the other, probably. Okay, so the chimney has no relevance. Anything on the floor here? There's a picture of somebody.
Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of the Inspector Gregson's family members. Ah!
What is it? What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head.
They are? Look, Mr. Naruhodo, quickly!
What? Why do I feel as though this woman is familiar somehow? Of course she's oh, whoops.
Of course she's familiar, Ryunosuke. We met her only this morning.
Ah! It's, what's her name? Mrs. Vigil.
Oh my gosh.
This
makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Vigil in here?
To be frank, I don't think I've ever seen... sorry. I don't think I've ever been more stumped in my life.
I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either.
The framed photograph has been entered into the court record. Okay, so the picture of her is there. I don't think this is Gregson's house.
This looks like some sort of notice board or something.
It's absolutely covered in scraps of paper.
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, look!
This, you mean? It's an autopsy report, isn't it?
And these are case notes here, and details of prison inmates.
Yes, in fact, they're all sort of documents that only a detective would normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room?
Some old newspaper cuttings. Ah, this one here.
Oh yes, the advertisement, you mean. To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here?
Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason.
I think I know whose room this is. I think this is the missing husband's room, Mr. Vigil. It's got a picture of his wife. It's got some...
This isn't his room because why would they live here? They lived in a really nice area.
No, his wife lived in a really nice area. This is where... I think this is where this dude really, like, went to work or something. I don't know.
That doesn't make... Oh, like, this was his shady job?
I think he was a bad guy. Yeah, or I think he is a bad guy. And Gregson was investigating something. So I suppose this is where the victim...
That's right! The rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found.
Poor Inspector... Oh, oops.
Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away.
And you'd probably be under Dr. Sife's scalpel by now if it's not what happened last week.
From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. That's weird. Why would he be curled up in a ball? Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost.
I know, it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with the blood stain next to it.
Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality.
Susie is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. I guess we look at the hat. Or the weird wig. Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing.
Oh! Funnily enough, neither can I.
It's a hairpiece, isn't it?
It is! It is! A bright red hairpiece!
And I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does it?
And it's such a flame-colored red, too.
Yes, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it?
Exactly. This is a vital clue. I'm sure of it, Ryunosuke.
Red-haired piece thing has been entered into the court record. Alright, so that's everything then. I don't see anything else to click on in this little room. Nope. Talked to the Bobbies, we looked at everything. So then now, if we have the option, we should probably speak to Gina, would be my guess. Yep, okay, there we go. Inspector Gregson. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place?
That's what I want to know. It's, half a year since I got out of the clink. And then when I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead.
Oh yeah, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as his apprentice, didn't he?
Summit like that, yeah. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss till then. But it turns out, he's a bit of a legend at the yard. Goodness, really? Well, they say he managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that.
He did?
Yep. And ever since then, he started going on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what half the case he's working on are, apparently at all.
That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this?
I know he's had a lot of respect for the Reaper, no? And look where that landed him.
Respect for the Reaper? In what way?
I heard him say as much. I take me hat off to that fella, were his words.
Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper.
Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why he respected the bloke.
I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in quite such high regard.
He said something else to me and all. That I didn't need to worry about the Reaper cause he only goes after people what are bad. It kinda set me mind at ease when he said that.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I just had such a horrible thought. You're not thinking what I'm thinking?
No.
That Gregson is the Reaper. He was the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
He just told Gina because she was on his good side that she would never have to worry about the Reaper.
Interesting.
He knew for a fact she would never have to worry about the Reaper. How could he know that unless he was the Reaper?
That's an interesting theory. What is this place then? Does anyone even live here?
Apparently, it's being rented by some cove called Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone?
It's sort of like here today, gone tomorrow name? That isn't it, right?
Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him.
I see. Well, judging from appearances, I'd have to say this place hasn't really been lived in for a long time, if ever.
Right, all the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation. But there's so little here that no one knew what to do with themselves.
Yes, Miss Susie?
Well, could it be that this Hugh Boone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself?
What? How could that be?
Well, if he was investigating on his own, Ryunosuke, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his.
I never even considered that.
Nice work, Suze. We're actually following a line of inquiry like that ourselves.
You are?
If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it.
We should really investigate this place in detail. We already did.
Oh my gosh. The first thing I was thinking of was something else, though. That he was having an affair with that one guy's wife, because why would the picture be there?
No, I'm pretty sure Gregson... I think he was married. I don't know.
I see. That's where the poor inspector was found. Over there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet. What did him in? Apparently, the bullet went right through him and struck the candle tree on the wall.
Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely.
And the gun used is there on the floor. It's a Reaper's in it, no denying that.
What? Really?
How do you know that? Take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big wide eyes, Susie. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself, but there's some bigwig lawman or whatever who said so. Why don't you ask him then?
Bigwig lawman, huh?
Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under the window there. There was some street sellers just outside who heard the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken down the yard for questioning, that's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector here. After all, they've been getting a grilling.
Do you think do you think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves?
I doubt it. The lads at the yard would just want to know what you're snooping for, and you'll be up for a grilling and all.
So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame.
Will Kazuma be the prosecutor? I don't know, Kento.
It's very interesting.
That would be cool. Oh, yeah! He could be because what's his name is in jail. Who is going to be the prosecutor?
Yes, that's true.
It could be Kazuma, or it could be some other crazy character that they'll bring in. You literally carry a gun around Gina and has stolen one at that, says Ethan. Yep, that's true. She's like, I don't know anything about guns, but she has one she has to use for her, like, police duties.
I don't think she has a gun.
Oh, okay.
She has her smoke gun thing.
Oh, yeah, the smoke gun, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's everything here. I guess we should move on.
White eyes are an occupational hazard of being behind the defense bench. I know. Susato can distract Ryunosuke with her white eyes.
Let's try going back to the prison, I guess. Nope, he won't talk to us. Awesome.
Okay.
What?
I really do want to get you Chinese food tomorrow, though.
We'll see.
I got the cash out for it.
Okay, we'll see. All right. Let's see. I don't know. We examined everything, so then where are we supposed to go next?
Let's talk with what's his name.
Nope, he won't talk to us. Well, this is a conundrum. Am I supposed to ask her about evidence? I guess.
Evidence.
Hey Gina, what do you make of this?
What is that? Evidence? Worked something out about what happened, have you?
Oh, no. Not exactly.
I ain't been long enough in the job to get all this deducting business yet. But I swear, I'm gonna get the person who did this to the boss. I will.
Okay.
Photo.
Gina, what do you make of this?
What is that? Evidence? Work something out with happened?
Oh, no. Not exactly. Never mind.
I ain't been long at this job.
No, it's the same thing.
I swear I'll get the person who did this.
She's saying the same stuff. Try the revolver. Gina, what do you make of this?
What is that? Evidence?
Yeah, okay, no. It was the same thing she says again. So that didn't do anything. It's where I get the person responsible for the boss.
Examine the evidence, says B Monep Mark.
Okay.
Try to examine it. Maybe there's something. There we go. The helmet of this charming policeman offers to be a little worse for wear.
I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yeah, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody else enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun.
Shall we try twisting it around and around too? Oh, sorry.
That's fine.
Oh!
Oh, what's that?
It appears to be some sort of key.
But it's tiny, though. It couldn't be a key for a door. Not at that size. So what is it for, I wonder? Details of police figure added into the court record. Okay, so it's got some type of weird key. This looks like some sort of key, almost.
Yes, it does. A very tiny and simple key.
What a little key is doing inside this figure of the policeman, though. And what's it for? Okay, we'll have to figure that out another time, so we know that there's something in there.
Do we think that Gregson was a dirty cop?
No.
On the take?
I don't think so.
Maybe he was meeting a bunch of thugs here, like, every week.
No.
And getting money from them.
I'm saying that this is the home of, or... what's his name? That Mr., the missing husband. I think he's connected to this room somehow. There's some black marks here, look!
Yes, they are. Looks like some sort of scorch marks.
And perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems.
Yes, I think you might be right, Ryunosuke. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. People kill each other with swords.
Yeah, more or less. Okay, is there anything else in here? No.
Well, I wish I would have saved my money for tomorrow instead of gotten hamburgers today.
I suppose this must have been the murder weapon, because we have to get groceries.
I'll do that, so maybe later this month I can get it.
Yeah, probably later.
I'll put my order on the fridge so we can get it at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my! It is real, I suppose.
I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know not very much about them. Perhaps someone more familiar with firearms could shed some light on things here. Alright, so they're not going to do anything about the gun. Anything else in there? Nope. Okay, well that doesn't work. Can't do anything with that. And the wig itself. Nope, it's just a wig. I've always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like.
It doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you?
I'm not sure that's quite how I'd put it, but you must have to use a lot of bird's lime to keep it in place on your head. So it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean.
That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think?
Okay, so that has no relevance to anything.
You could just pin it to the rest of your hair with bobby pins.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It has two little loops there. You could easily pin it or something.
Could ask about the little doll to Gina, I guess. Hey Gina, what do you make of this?
What is that? Evidence? Working something out? What happened?
Oh, no, never mind. Nope, Gina's not it.
Oh, it belongs to the job since all this deducting. I swear I'll get the person who did this to the boss.
Alright, we're out. Nothing else to do here.
We out, Gina. We out.
Can't go to the prison.
The bottom of the gun says OH. Does anyone else have any suggestions?
There was nothing.
Bottom of the gun?
There was nothing at the bottom of the gun.
Did we check the whole gun?
There was nothing at the bottom of the gun, though.
Alright.
But there's just like a little hook thing that didn't let us click.
It didn't let us click on it.
No.
There, it won't let us click on it, guys.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
But thanks, guys.
Alright, so we looked at the candle, we looked at the little doll, looked at the wig.
Gina is so weird to me. Well, I mean, she has the... I mean, I don't know. She just has a cool accent.
Maybe show him sweet.
But it is kind of weird that she went from a pickpocket to a police officer, like, so fast.
Nobody here. If you go to the right place, it would, like, tell you what time it is and all this other stuff.
Is it weird that she's kind of cute? She is very cute.
Bingo! This is it. 1st of November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Okay, so this is where we're supposed to go. You've made good time. I took an express train back to London. I can hear Lord Strongheart, can you?
Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone.
Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. It's,
Kazuma-sama!
It is. Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard of the sickening news about the Reaper's latest delivery. Yeah.
I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zieks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson.
I believe only in the facts, and the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zieks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective.
Oh no, surely not.
It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. All the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and, equitable process. So, does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Precisely, yes. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Kazuma?
He probably doesn't remember you.
No, he has his memory's back.
Oh.
Ah, but of course, you've already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings. Leading the prosecution. Wait, what?
Oh my gosh!
Kazuma? Well, as I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law.
Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor?
What? Well, I mean, it made sense.
He looks so angry as a prosecutor, though.
I'm sure you can imagine tomorrow's trial will be closely followed by all of London. In fact, no. People of all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in the trial persecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey, and now the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public wants answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths.
But Lord Van Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters.
And there you have, and there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. There have been many there's been many cases that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true, or it has been at least until now. No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great history of justice. That word throws me off, so I can't say it.
It's okay,
it's a tongue twister.
You can just say justice.
So, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow? That's right.
But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Not anymore.
Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. Huh? And imagine what it was... Jeez. And imagine what it would mean for the prosecution to know that the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely! I have no doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor.
But why Kazuma-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain.
It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned for the trial. You asked for this? But why? It's all become clear now. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation.
He's not the Reaper, Kazuma. You traitor. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact.
You're quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. Ah! After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as a justice closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution? Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed. After practicing law in this land so many months. Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't gonna end well.
I think he hates Van Zieks.
The killer's gun.
How could he hate him, though, when Van Zieks was the one taking him under his wing?
Oh, yes. We noticed that there was a gun at the scene of the Inspector Gregson's death scene thing. Do you know where it belongs and who it is? Is it Lord Van Zieks? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up, so see if they might know.
That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct.
I'm trying. It's certainly a model that issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine.
In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim.
No, Gregson had his gun on his person. What about Lord Van Zieks? He claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious.
But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant is no proof that it's actually his!
No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zieks. Okay, well, I guess that's...
I think that, like, Kazuma's gonna kill us with his stare because it's making me uncomfortable.
You can't talk to Kazuma.
It's making me uncomfortable.
Examine... Can we examine anything? Ah! We can speak to Kazuma himself. There we go. Yoink. I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now. Has your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything, including what I was coming here to do. Right.
Kazuma-sama! I can't tell how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But, how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London, that's where your destiny awaits.
Was it Chome's voice?
It was that voice that guided me here to London.
I'm so sorry for what's happened.
Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Well, yeah, he's in tomorrow's case. Doesn't look like we're gonna get much info here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery. Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. Well, we'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Ah! Before you go, Ryunosuke.
Oh my gosh.
What is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you.
Kazuma-sama, what?
You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you.
Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here.
Oh!
I actually have a favor to ask. What? Which is? The trial will be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense. Why? What's this all about? I know you have what it takes. But, Lord Van Zieks would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does? It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. That's Susie.
That's Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson!
In a photograph that's been taken some time ago by the look of it.
They were friends?
And who's the third person?
His brother.
It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes. That is why I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. Gregson's photo added into the court record. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? Okay, I think that's everything else. Okay, so he wants us to go to the prison. Okay, then. Try the prison, but it didn't work last time. Oh, it's gonna work now. If ever you're lost in this game, or Ace Attorney in general, people, if the little, announcement thing pops up, then you know you're in the right place. Lord Van Zieks is still reading that letter. He has nothing else to do.
We've been gone quite some time, though.
Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese. Oh, sorry. I didn't think you heard that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time.
Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow.
Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This is nothing to do with you. In other words, no.
We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided.
I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's, gonna be Kazuma. Ugh! Asogi. That made the color drain from his face. Ah, well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. Okay.
Let's present the photograph. Oh, wait, we have to talk to him.
Talk to him about all his points first. 10 years ago, my older brother was director of the prosecutors at the time he was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from Japan. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi.
Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father.
So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later?
Oh, yeah.
The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court.
Oh my gosh.
I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you.
I know, right?
It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset.
I know, he made you be friends with a guy whose father killed your brother. That's sick. But what could he have been hoping to achieve?
And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that? Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you, Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all us Japanese, I get it. Why am I representing you again? Japanese bane. I'd only just been appointed a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of the prosecution's office, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor. Yes, assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Gregson, huh? Jensen. Exactly, yes. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed a noble mind and chivalrous in the extremes to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man.
Wait, he was friends with the killer?
Partner. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in. Any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. Wow.
Oh, how awful.
Yes. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted Asogi in trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I
Beleaguered?
I beleaguered the scribed prosecutor until he consented.
What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor?
The man in charge of the professor's case. Lord Mal Strongheart. Wait, what? Strongheart? Yes, he was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I felt indebted.
I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor.
Let's go with that, yes. Anyway, time has passed. But then earlier this year, who would arrive in London but you?
Ah!
And, of course, of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom, by the way. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese is, well, very apparent. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred had festered inside of me. I could no longer control it. And I can understand why. Now I know the history. Yes. But in the same way that I have long felt the Nipponese to be a bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi I am the bane of his, the reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. Probably. Inspector Gregson. Gregson's transfer to the Paris police prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. But he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he?
I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean?
It's the first time I've ever encountered it, actually.
Oh!
The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. It sounds like that mystery has been the Reaper pretty perplexed.
I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard.
Again, it was 10 years ago, and he first made a name for himself by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. It wasn't for Gregson a singular approach to the case, the discovery never would have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy.
Oh my! 10 years ago?
Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time and rarely performed. My brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So, you must have been, had a great confidence in the inspector's abilities then.
It's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life.
I don't have the confidence in anyone.
Oh!
And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me only as an ominous reaper, just like the rest of London. What really went on between Lord Van Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? I'd say they were friends, but...
Yeah.
About the gun used at the inspector was found at the scene. Yes, that's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. It would probably be engraved. What do you expect me to say to that?
Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm.
That is true, yes. As embarrassing as it is, I'm afraid it's true.
When did you lose it then?
That, I don't know.
Oh!
I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stole it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps. I'm not really sure.
You have something in common with Lord Van Zieks after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things.
No! This has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into this. Don't make the mistake of associating me with these Nipponese.
Oh dear. The rift is very wide, isn't it?
So it's not decisive evidence, clearly. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Okay. Well, I guess we'll try pressing the photo that he got. Actually, gotta show him the armband first. I think you know what this is worn by people in my country to show that they're defense lawyers, don't you? And I think you know that I believed you to be merely playing at lawyer craft initially. But it would seem your armband may actually imply some dormant talent after all. Lord Van Zieks, do you mean... Let's hope you wake up soon. Yeah, I was clearly daydreaming. I almost thought I got a compliment there. Okay, so this photo. Lord Van Zieks, we came by this old photograph. There! Where did you get it? Somewhere. It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It was almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. This is the man on the left there is your brother, right? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. The details of Gregson's photo have been added into the court record. It had to be a really nice moment, I guess. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know? Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense. No, I've heard someone at least attest to that very clearly. Inspector Lestrade, no less, too. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, discussing the future of justice and some other lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle. An insight into the true nature of this man known to all as a stone-cold reaper of the Bailey. Mr. Naruhodou. Huh? That's the first time he's ever used my actual name. I have lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the lawyers, or the justice system. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. Lord Van Zieks, from the very time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I clearly wished I could. Here is the loathsome Nipponese, who has this absolute integrity as a lawyer. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Jensen Asogi. The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous of ways. Oh boy. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph here? Back then I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plagued me now. I looked to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But, at times like the mire into which I've sunk makes... Wow. The times the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Naruhodou, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me?
Oh my gosh.
Huh? Of course I will. It would be an honor, sir.
I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodou.
Then my life is in your hands. Wow. Did not see that coming. For Lord Van Zieks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend, Kazuma. And even though it's continued, guys, we're gonna do a little bit more. There's usually like a meeting and stuff like that, and then goes into the court. So we'll go up to like the first testimony or first cross-examination. That's the plan, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, just random thing. For the rules for the chat, like the swear words that are allowed and are not allowed are kind of YouTube's rules. So, like, we don't have that much control over them. Mm-hmm. So they allowed some swear words, but not others, which is kind of weird.
Okay, don't kick the microphone. 2nd of November, 8:56 a.m. Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. There's that old familiar feeling again. The crushing pressure of this historic courthouse. Actually, nope. It's a little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air.
There is a menacing tension in the air here today. Isn't there, Ryunosuke? I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. Stop reading my mind! It can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant. All little more curiosity. Yeah. All little more courtesy, if you please.
Oh my! I do apologize.
However, You're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary. What do you mean? I'm not privy to the details, however. I understand that no jury has been selected.
Oh, great. A trial without a jury? Well, that's just like the trial of the professor 10 years ago.
A closed court?
Oh.
Good morning, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes!
Oh.
Have you made it a note of my hair, Mr. Naruhodo? An outright victory of science, you must agree?
It's back to normal.
To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. Ha! What to one man is little hair problem, is to another a day of drinking dubious potion after dubious potion. You have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning. Ugh.
Oh dear, how awful for you.
I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, though, Sholmes. Good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim.
He hates being called the Reaper.
And I you to see London's celebrated great detective as active as ever. Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow. Compared to my paltry of engagements with a few trivial cases here and there, the Reaper's overbearing presence is far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there is at least one point on which I would really readily commend you. What an honor, and that would be? Your eye for the good lawyer, sir. Mr. Sholmes? After all, behind the lawyer there is a great mind, my own. What are you trying to say? I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper. Blah!
How would Jones know?
Sorry to barge in. Oh.
Oh, wow.
It's Gina. Gina! Oh, she's officially an inspector now. Look
Oh,
at her.
wow, she's got an armband.
Yep.
I have a weird idea about this trial, but I don't know if I should say
What's
it.
that on her arm? It's a morning band, I suppose?
Father! Shouldn't you be at the symposium?
It's been postponed, so I have some free time. I decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action. Huh? I shall be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope, there are some fruits to see.
Odo!
Yes, Gina. What is it?
Would you agree to this, sir? Would you take him on?
Huh?
This Reaper bloke, everyone says it was him what killed the boss.
I'm sorry, Gina, but I don't believe that.
Well, if it wasn't him, who was it then?
I don't know that either yet, but I will.
I don't care. Who calls him what? The Reaper's just a name. He's just a person at the end of the day. And if it turns out it was him what killed the boss, then God help him.
I mean, that's... Fiery eyes, indeed.
He's right there.
Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing.
Ah!
At least that may be some solace to the deceased.
Please, Oda, get whoever did this for the boss. Oh, Gina. I'm feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. You gotta find who done this and make the wretch pay.
Counsel for the defense and defendant. Court will now be in session shortly. Make your way into the courtroom at once, please. All right, then. Here we go again.
It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. Lord Van Zieks.
Yes, I'm aware. I have to go into the court, except this time as... Yes. One who lost his treasured brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. And one who lost the man who helped her escape destitution. All that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. It's time to shine a light on all these dark events. And whatever truth is revealed, we're going to have to look at it straight in the eye.
Thaddeus says, she's making me cry. Poor Gina.
Very sad. 22nd of November, 9:20 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
I have an idea, but I just think it's weird. I feel like Gregson didn't really die.
No, he's gone, honey. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here to conduct the fair and just trial of the defendant Barrett Van Zieks. Counsel for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin? The defense is ready, my lord. The prosecution is more than ready.
Oh, Kazuma-sama.
Oh, I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long. It feels... But I never pictured it happening like this.
Susato, do you wish to change sides, or...?
I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution's bench. The so-called Reaper of the Bailey has been scourged like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today, we must uncover the truth behind the scourge. In other words, this trial's gonna be a lot more far-fetching than Inspector Gregson's murder. The truth revealed by these proceedings may have unprecedented repercussions through our justice system. Accordingly, they are to be conducted as a closed trial with no members of the public present, by Her Majesty's direct orders. How will that work, my lord? The burden of all attribution and adduction falls on my shoulders. Therefore, as you will see, the juror's bench remains vacant. We can see people in the gallery.
If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord?
Thank you, yep. The members of the justice system here to witness the proceedings and ensure an equitable trial. Members of the judiciary? What?
Oh my! This is a very unusual trial already.
Yep. There is, of course, another unprecedented aspect of these proceedings on which I must elaborate. The counsels for the prosecution and defense are both aliens of Great Britain. Okay. I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in the courtroom now, I'm quite certain. This is the reason why I had to come to Britain. Kazuma? All right then, very well. Let's commence proceedings, please. Prosecutor Asogi, your opening statement, if you please. Certainly, my lord. The incident took place on the 1st of November, just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building on the flats of Frenzo Street on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in the old single-room rental property. Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson, a name known well inside my court. Very shame. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of his country's grimmest cases 10 years ago.
The professor case.
Yes. How sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot, and all have reported the same time. Yeah, that's what Gina told us too. There were a number of witnesses as well. I have here a plan of the room. The victim was found curled up in the corner over here. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly. How has the range been determined then? There were scorch marks around the entry wound. Such marks are caused by gunpowder used to fire the bullet. But powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only ejected a few inches before the end of the barrel. In other words, it only appears when the target is at point-blank range. I see, yes. Thank you for your detailed explanation, Consul. Autopsy report has been entered into the court record. The murder weapon was found lying out by the victim. And have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm? No, my lord. No, not conclusively anyway.
Bravo, Kazuma-sama! For not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proven.
Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There is a candle bum mounted on the wall there.
Candelabrum.
I have no idea what that is. And the tip of the candles in it was found to have been blown away by the projectile.
It just means, like, candelabra is like... I think it's like candelabra, but it's like candelabrum, so it's like...
Yeah, Old English.
It's like multiple of them. Also, it's like a holder for candles, basically.
Yeah, Victorian term.
Yeah. We noticed that too, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for your thorough report, Consul. The setting of the crime is clear to me. You will submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please. As you wish, my lord. The crime scene has been updated in the court record. Alright, this is Frenzo Street, room from Inspector's private abode? No, my lord. The room is rented to a Mr. Hugh Bone. There is a previous little further... Wow. There is precious little furniture inside, and it's generally in poor state of repair. So what on earth was Gregson even doing there?
I know. Presumably, he was investigating some case or other.
When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witness and rushed to the scene, we found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside, holding the revolver. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot. So, the details of this case are clear. In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. A name, please, Consul? Naturally, the accused himself. Lord Van Zieks? As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he's taken, and will be compelled to tell the truth. Very well.
Wow.
Let the defendant take the witness stand.
I can't believe this. This is so weird.
Maybe this will be a faster trial.
So... maybe.
So the witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Beric Van Zieks, Old Bailey prosecutor. I presume, Lord Van Zieks, that you have heard Prosecutor Shoki's opening precise? I did. It's alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by arriving officers. Can you confirm this? Yes, my lord. Then I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things your way. Namely, why you were in the room of Frenzo Street at the time in question, and what exactly took place. I intended to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth. I must say, Lord Van Zieks, I never imagined this day would come. Rather, I didn't want to imagine it could come, but since you've become known as the Reaper, well, a part of me has been dreading it. Alright then. Your formal testimony then, witness.
It's just wrong to keep, like, making up accusations about him when there's no evidence he's ever killed anyone, though.
The facts of the incident, yep. I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside, and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked up the firearm to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of the inspector appeared before me. That testimony was the whole truth? It was. So, you heard a shot being fired in the room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right. You haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse. I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor Asogi. It would appear to be a singular tale indeed. Singular isn't the word, it's laughable. What's got into Kazuma? He's not behaving like himself at all.
I know, he seems like he wants to take Lord Van Zieks down.
Very well then. Counsel, you may begin with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. I can do that.
Feels like he hates Van Zieks or something.
Oh, probably. I mean, killed his dad. Well, the facts of the incident. I was investigating Gregson and my inquiries had led me to that address. Investigating why? You were investigating the inspector? What on earth for? I'm not at liberty to say. Sorry? I'd identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in a case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed. Is the court to understand that on the day in question you followed the victim to the scene? No, I was privy to his movements in advance. How? I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary. The address of Frenzo Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. You illegally entered the man's office. In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense. As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, Lord Van Zieks? I was aware of the possible consequences. So, in summary, you were investigating the victim. And yet, you refused to tell the court why.
He thought he was the Reaper. I think that Gregson was the Reaper.
I didn't realize the British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath. Oh, why did I ever think I could defend this man?
It's because Kazuma was acting crazy.
When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one.
Hold it!
Had you ever been to the address before? No, never. I only learned of the place as a result of my investigations into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything. But at 5 p.m. the sun would only have gone down. It would still have reasonably some light outside.
The windows were boarded up.
The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky inside. I wouldn't have noticed if the victim was already lying on the floor. There was no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure? I'm quite sure that part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though. I couldn't say for certain.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo!
Huh?
I feel like I liked it better when Kazuma had amnesia.
Yeah.
He's kind of being a jerk.
Oh, he wants to take him down.
Why?
I don't know.
There's a small desk in the room, just here.
Because I don't believe he thinks his dad was guilty. That's why he's here. Yes, I remember. There was an oil lamp on here, as well as the framed photograph.
It might not have been this guy's fault, though.
When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started towards the desk to investigate. And what did you find? Nothing. I never actually reached the desk. A moment later, I heard the gunshot and spun around.
Hold it!
That sounds just like what happened to him. He picked up the gun in his the very first case of the Ace Attorney, Great Ace Attorney game.
That's true.
Who fired the gun? I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room.
This trial is all Luke.
But you say it was very dark in there. Yeah. Yes, that's right.
I can't really do any of these voices.
All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence.
Unless you want me to do Ryunosuke's.
No. Then could it be, the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room? No, that's out of the question. Oh, crap. Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder. This is going from bad to worse. And you say that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor? Yes, correct. And I foolishly picked it up. That was careless on my part. Presumably then the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you simultaneously took in your hands? In point of fact, my lord, believe it or not. What? The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent gunpowder. But then, where on earth is the gun that was fired? Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I too would dearly like to know that. Just as I picked up the firearm to examine, the door flew open. I heard a man scream.
Hold it!
A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume? That's right. One of the street merchants working on Frenzo Street. Who are these merchants? A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. And I know what you people are thinking. No, I do not talk to myself in multiple voices in my head often. This is kind of crazy at the moment.
I'm just gonna slurp my coffee over here while you do all these voices.
A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. They've all given statements saying they heard the gunshot. And without the thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened. Yay, Susie!
Sorry. Yes! Gina told us about that yesterday, didn't she?
They burst through the door with some force,
My
it would
work
seem.
here's done.
Yes, they did, and almost gave me a heart attack in the process. But you're supposed to be the Reaper! The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled.
Akira wants to know, are you sure about that, Luke?
Mostly. A policeman patrolling on Frenzo Street heard the commotion, and was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Yes, anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction. It was only then that the body of the inspector appeared before me.
Hold it!
What do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear? I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I am concerned, the body hadn't been there until the point, and then suddenly there it was! Poof! Did you perhaps hear sounds of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand? At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of the man who came first, nothing more. I see. After the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson. Most curious circumstances indeed. How the inspector was killed or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere. I have no idea. It's very mysterious.
Objection!
Surely the court has heard enough. What?
What?
My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed that the accused, Barak von Zieks, is lying on multiple fronts. What? What is that supposed to mean? Good gracious, Counsel! The defendant is lying, you say? In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. That's correct. No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum. How does that prove anything? If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it was blown away by the powerful impact. One would assume that projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle. The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly at a different length. Yes, I can see that, only the candle appears to have been struck by the bullet is very long. We could reasonably expect someone to have it all three candles together, which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. That must be because that particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Ah! That's right. When the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles still had been burning, so the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused claim that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts those facts. Blah! And now, to the next lie. There's more?
Oh my god.
The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In an almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings.
Yes, that's right. We saw it too.
It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged, however. They include a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago? This is starting to sound very familiar. And there's a common thread linking all these documents on the board. Indeed, what is the common thread, Consul? They relate to cases prosecuted in court by Baron Van Zieks. All of them? And furthermore, all of those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted. Good Lord! Interesting, none of those defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper.
You don't know if he's the Reaper.
Ah!
Oh no!
In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout and his base of operations. The Reaper's hideout? And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout? No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards. Backwards? Explain!
But you've never proved he is the Reaper.
Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. What? Nani?
Kazuma, you have no evidence at all. You just said you thought he was the Reaper.
Order! Order! Very well. I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Baron Van Zieks is an outstanding prosecutor who's rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with Prosecutor Shogi's contention that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts. All I have done is state the truth as I know it. Kazuma's done a brilliant job as ever. He's drawing on his experience as the defense attorney to build his prosecution's case, and it's formidable. Consul, you will submit the board that you just showed the court as evidence. I believe it will be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence. Thank you, my lord. The notice board has been added into the court record.
It doesn't matter if that's the Reaper's hideout. It doesn't prove that Van Zieks is a Reaper.
And now, the prosecution would like to call a new witness to the stand. Witnesses who saw the events unfold on the day in question.
They were mentioned in the previous testimony, too. If you remember, Ryunosuke.
Yes, the street sellers. We heard the gunshot and went running into the room. Who heard the gunshot? Very well. Lead the witnesses in, please. The defendant may step down from the witness stand for the time being. Certainly, my lord. Oh boy.
See you later, E2S2 fanatic.
Yay, there's girls and... Beppo! Beppo is... Oh no! So witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Names? We don't use names. We're too fancy for those likes. Us.
Oh. We're just free and easy. See what we like, live where we want to live.
Sell.
Sell what we like, live what we want to live, where we want to live.
Give them all
Do you
vacant
want-
stare
you
as they walk down, Friendzo, and spin few words in a verse for them.
I can
Ah. Would I be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street? Hey, everyone calls me gossip. I sell jaunty little tidbits to passerbys, you know. Jaunty little tidbits? Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up your guinea, it is. 6 is the price, not a penny less. Wait! You're actually trying to sell it to me now? Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you got not interested. Try the man.
Give him the money and see what it is.
Pay the man, Consul. Alright. 6 it is.
Oh my gosh.
You won't regret it, sir. Now, caught your listening ears on. Just between us, a young couple on Side Street have had twins. Huh?
You just wasted 6 pence. Who
Uh,
cares?
Is that it? No, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? I just want to spread, but bits up to you and your mouth, of course. Got more, you know. Want another juicy one? 6 it is, if you're curious. I am curious, yes, about what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours. Namely that unusual bruise or whatever it is, poking out from under your collar. What about the next witness, then? What name do you go by and what do you sell?
Me, I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, innit? I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids.
Now we know what the gunshot was. I think it was fireworks.
And maybe...
Listen, the barrel of the gun was cold. Also, there was no way to heat the room, so if Gregson had been in there for quite a while, you know.
Yeah, he could have been gone a while
He
ago.
could have been dead for days, yeah. And also, I mean, the gun was cold. What he probably heard was the firecrackers outside.
6 pence a pop? What you say?
Oh my gosh!
Something wrong?
You weren't exaggerating with the little... Do they actually sell?
Oh yeah, the second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, they could blow up the school.
Well, that's not very good. Not the most savory of ideas, young lady.
That would be considered like hate crime today, whereas I don't know what it would be then. I don't know. What you say then? Want to part with 6 pence for a pop?
Wait, what? You want me to buy one?
Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom.
Try the woman.
Give her the money and see if she's right.
Pay the woman, Consul. I left my money in my other pash.
Why are we doing
Alright,
this?
I'll buy one.
Why is everyone making Ryunosuke do this? Lovely stuff. Right then, this is something a bit extra just for you. The Venus special, only 600 pence.
600?
It's 100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing about it, is there?
There'd be nothing a little bit about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. The Venus firecracker's been entered into the court record. That'll be important later, I bet. And the last witness, what is your name that you go by, and what do you sell? Oh, I'm a thinker, me. Think of all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I
thought you were a cabbie.
Because I stand here on the street, watching the world go on about me. They call me the Observer.
But you're a cab driver.
Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich, and you know it. So, you don't usually sell anything? Yeah, problem shared and a problem halved. As they say, I give advice, I do. I think that's what it means. I don't actually sell anything, no. Come to think of it. Pity. No more purchases today, please?
Ryunosuke doesn't have any more money.
Well, we have quite a cash yet, it seems. They conduct themselves on Frenzo Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene. I see, and thus they've heard the gunshot, I suppose? Not only that, but they bravely ran inside to see what was going on, and witnessed the crime. We'll be beggar doubt, just between us.
Venus to Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw.
Well, I think it is. It's all, yeah, shadow playing on with the eyes. Is that real or something? I don't know. All right, then, this is interesting. Very well. The court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident. The witness testimony. The witness's account. We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they were in the building.
It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang.
Yeah, it seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait and go see what had happened. I ran into the room there, 'cause was the Reaper gun in hand, standing over the dead body.
I was scared half to death, me, so I ran off to find a copper. Maybe one of them killed him.
I mean, why is that guy's neck all, like, ringed? If these witnesses were the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Baron von Zieks.
Maybe they're lying.
I've seen pictures of the Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. And just between us, the folk love stories like this. I made myself a tidy sum already. But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Frenzo Street are unoccupied.
How do you know, though?
Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased.
And we know that the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hugh Boone.
The testimony the court has just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant would have omitted these crimes. No! Thank you for your candor, my lord. Right then, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination of the witnesses. Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this, without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony somehow. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. How do we know that these people weren't on the take or paid to say something? Because if he really was killed a month ago, these people could lie and say it was the Reaper.
No, I don't think he was killed a month ago. I think he's been dead for a few days.
Yeah, well, if he was killed a few days ago, maybe they knew that. But they're completely lying through their teeth.
Yep, we'll have to find out more about the witness's account tomorrow, though. Because that is going to do it for today. Which means, guys, your next stream will be starting up around 7:15 for Sonic. And I will also get the Marvel stream set up for Storm tonight as well. So, how things are going to go tonight is Sonic around 7:15, 7:20. followed by around 9ish, you will have your Marvel stream, and then around 11 o'clock tonight is the finale of Super Metroid. That's the plan, anyway. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, thank you again, Capcom, for providing a copy of this game. We hope you guys had a lot of fun. And we'll see you on Sonic in a little bit. Thanks so much for watching. And if you haven't seen today's short, please check it out. For whatever reason, YouTube is trying to keep the views locked at a certain amount. So we need you guys to kind of like help push that as best you can. Because we know for a fact that the YouTube shorts are not a part of YouTube's actual algorithm. They're a separate commodity altogether. So, yeah, just do your best. The 90 of you guys to 100 of you guys that were here, go check out that short and leave a comment on it. Tell us what you thought about it, and if you have a particular short you want to see itself. The name of today's short is Epona Don't Do It, or Epona Jump, or something like that. Yeah.
Epona Don't Jump.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. See you in a little bit.
All right, guys. See you in a bit. God bless. Happy gaming. See ya.